Nintendo! I promise I'm here. I was getting apple juice. Hello! Hello and welcome, 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 welcome one and all to Playday number 3 here in Grand Slam Galaxy. I am your commissioner, Willie or Won'ty. Unfortunately, this week I will not be joined by my co-commentator Silver Lily, as she is experiencing a bit of a sore throat / cold situation and is out on a sick day. I hope you will all join me in wishing her a speedy recovery and a not COVID. Let's head into Playday 3 by looking at where we stand in the standings. There are two undefeated teams, the Monsters and the Rotten Eggs, are a storyline to watch, as the Monsters last regular season went 13-1. Their one game loss, falling to the eventual league champions. Sorry, 11-3. I'm completely wrong. I'm completely wrong. I screwed up the storyline in my head. I got too excited about it. But one of those 3 losses was to the eventual Season 1 champion of the Rookies. The Rotten Eggs, however, bouncing back after Berto's rough season season, sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard, now tied with the Monsters at that 2-0 record. However, the Monsters and the Rotten Eggs face off in this Playday, and the Monsters have the home field advantage and have chosen to take the Rotten Eggs to Yoshi Park. They did this out of spite. They did this out of anger and hatred of me specifically. Our other storylines going into this, the Wild, Scrambled Eggs, Infernos, and Flowers are all at that 1-1 scoreline. They all want to improve. However, the Wilds are the only ones with a positive run differential in that area. The Flowers are the team to watch the most with a -11 run differential. They may be at that 1-1 record, but if they want to stay middle of the pack or ascend above it, they're going to have to keep notching wins on the board and call that back to positive. The other major storylines to look at heading into these Playday, the Revenge, after a hot preseason, are down 0-2. However, you will notice that 0-2 record is only at a -3 run differential because their 2 losses were some of the closest in the league. So, they definitely showed the potential in the preseason to win. They definitely showed that they're competitive in the regular season. We're going to have to see whether or not they're able to seal the deal this Playday, though. And the Monarchs, currently the team at the bottom of the scoreline. Someone has to be. The great question haunting them, can they find their offensive footing after a very, very close battle that just got a little bit out of hand at the end last week against the Monsters? Our schedule for today. The teams facing off are the Infernos and the Revenge, with the Revenge going to DK Jungle at 9. The Scrambled Eggs and the Monarchs, with the Monarchs going to Daisy Cruiser at 9. The Rotten Eggs and the Monsters choosing to go to that Yoshi Park in the daytime, and the Wilds versus the Flowers, with the Flowers returning to an old comfort pick already at Junior's Playroom. Now, we're actually going to head straight into it. Our first game of the day will be that Wilds Flowers game on Bowser Jr.'s Playroom. So let's load that up and let's talk about the storyline heading into this. I'm going to talk about the Wilds first, as they've taken up a little bit of a shakeup. And I want to talk about how that impacts their chances. I want to talk about their history on this field. The Wilds played on Junior's Playroom in the preseason and faced a shutout loss to the Revenge, losing 5-0. Since then, they've been on a fine start. They won their first Playday, but lost last Playday versus the Rotten Eggs in another shutout loss on, of all stadiums, Peach's Ice Garden. So the question is, with these Wilds, with the offensive potential of Hammer Bro and Donkey Kong, can they capitalize on it? Can they capitalize on it? They're attempting to. They've swapped up their roster a little bit and moved a bunch of the power hitters forward. Funky Kong, Donkey Kong, and Hammer Bro all enjoying relatively solid positions early in that lineup, with now the 7, 8, 9 run being a little bit weaker as Dixie Kong and Tiny Kong are pushed to the back. Other notable change, really essentially is just one: Donkey Kong no longer the starting pitcher. We'll see whether these tweaks are enough for the Wilds to hold up to their full potential. Meanwhile, the Flowers, the team that I just said earlier, needs to start clawing back their run differential if they want to stay competitive early in this season. Otherwise, it's going to be a long and rocky road for them. King K. Rool officially off of Fraud Watch for this team, but despite a very, very close game for the Flowers last week, where they took down the revenge on Junior's Playroom, they apparently took that as a great boon, and they're going back to Junior's Playroom after defeating the Revenge here, and after the Revenge 5-0 to the Wilds here. The question to look out for, the storyline to look out for going into this game, is can the Wilds shake up, restart their offense, and do some damage against the Flowers, or will the Flowers mark and secure Junior's Playroom as a must-pick home field for them heading deeper into the season? Since I'm by myself, I will have to take a moment to pause and verify that the rosters are 100% correct, because God knows I do not want to make that whoopsie daisy in a match like this one, which might decide a lot of the layout going forward. One of these teams will be 1-2, the other one will be 2-1. You gotta hope, if you're a Flowers fan, that you can stop that run differential from falling any further down. Otherwise, if you're a Wilds fan, you're hoping that these shakeups cash out and that Monkey Madness returns to dominate Grand Slam Galaxy. Everything is looking all good. Our players are ready on the field. I need to blow my nose, and we're ready to start. The Wilds head into Flowers territory. Is Junior's Playroom locked down, or has the baby been let out of the crib? It's the Wilds versus the Flowers here on Playday 3. Right after I blow my nose. Okay, thank God. Man, I just want to give a big shout out. No player protests so far in Season 2. Like, the commissioner is doing a great job, and Tato, well, was trying to do a great job with that ground ball up the center, but she's caught out by Critter. A question for Mr. Consistency was going to be, can he stop this offense from the Wilds? But Funky Kong drills one out to right field, is let onto the base by the outfield, not jumping for it, as they don't tend to jump to get those balls bouncing off the walls. And now Donkey Kong given an opportunity that he will have to settle for an out, actually, as he's caught out by good fielding from Captain Daisy and Critter. Not just keeping Funky Kong secured at second base, but actually having the time to catch out Donkey Kong at first. Great defensive play from the Flowers. Baby DK, well, his shot will run foul, so he'll have another chance at the plate to see what he can do with this banana. I don't think that's regulation, but you never know. His attempt actually saved that banana, landing directly on Green Magic Koopa, bringing in the ball in what would have been the end of the inning. Reggie now has a chance to bring in Funky Kong from third base if he can find his way past this defense. And no, his attempt, well hit, poorly aimed. Red Yoshi out in right field picks up that one, and the Wilds have to settle for nothing off a couple good chances after their first at bat. The Flowers now with a chance to return fire. Captain Daisy wants a dinger, but misses twice. Third pitch right down the middle is an easy slap and an easy catch by Hammerbro, locking up that shortstop position. So now Luigi, Mr. Consistency. He's had a little bit of a struggle early in the season to keep that moniker up, and Hammerbro doesn't want to give him a hot streak, also snagging that one. What a catch by Hammerbro. So now it's up to Luigi, whose first shot runs foul. He's trying to hit it as far away from that shortstop position as he can, but it's the second baseman, Baby DK, who snags that one, and the infield secure 3 up, 3 out, and the Flowers have a worse looking go of it than the Wilds. Well, some compensation for the Flowers. Hammerbro is really the only offensive mark here who can do some damage before you get back to the top of the order, and he's caught out by Green Magic Koopa. So it should be a relatively easy inning from the Flowers defense, assuming they're able to lock up some of the weaker hitters on the Wilds roster. Mr. Consistency tries a slider. Green Shy Guy snags it though, and it's well aimed for a single. So once again, the Wilds get a hit and are on base. It's up to Dixie Kong to see if she can capitalize off of that and actually get the runner to second. But no, a good catch by Quitter. It's not 3 up, 3 down, but it is 3 outs and 3 batters. And that is the second attempt foiled from the Wilds. A little bit expected besides Hammerbro's poor showing. We'll see if they come back in the third. But it's a death lineup of hitter from the Flowers. Critter, King K. Rool, and also Green Magic Koopa is here. A lot of work for Reggie to get past, but the first attempt from Critter will go wide foul, so not too much danger there. Bit of a pop from Critter, but it lands just short enough that Dixie Kong isn't able to get under it. That means that there's a runner on for King K. Rool, who already showed last Playday that he's capable of knocking away bombs on Junior's Playroom. The first attempt swings a little bit foul, but message sent to pitcher Reggie. Fastball on the inside gets caught. Dixie and Tiny have to get there, but they don't have the time. They don't have the height. And the Flowers notch away another 2-run homer on Junior's Playroom, and they successfully have the lead. Baby DK will snag out Green Magic Koopa's attempt at a hit, so the outs are starting for the Wilds. It's not like 2 runs down is a massive lead, as Red Yoshi also immediately grounds out. Start of the Daisy chain. Daisy Magic for the Flowers if they're able to find it. But Baby Daisy watches the first strike, smacks the second, immediately caught out by a good catch by Funky Kong. So a 2-0 lead for the Flowers. The Wilds questions continue. Who capitalizes on this offense? I mean, Donkey Kong isn't a bad one to do it, but he'll need runners on, and those runners will have to start with Tiny Kong, who's immediately caught out again at the shortstop position by Critter. Both team shortstops showing up big for their team. A little bit of pride in that one step as Tato steps up to the plate. Tato, whose name I pronounce differently every single time she shows up. She'll watch one ball go wide and smack a fastball down the middle, but Green Magic Koopa is easily under the ball to catch that one. Pressure's on for Funky Kong. He needs to get on base so that there's some damage that can be returned fire from the Captain DK. Staying cool under pressure, as always though, Funky Kong. Watches two balls hit down the middle. It's hit very weak, actually. And 3 up, 3 down means that the Wild's best hitter of Donkey Kong won't have much to work with at the top of the 4th. The daisy chain continues for the Flowers though, with JC stepping up to the plate, facing down Reggie, but the POW block saves her weak ground ball. Well aimed, well fired, and a little bit of luck to get that item. Means the Flowers have runners on base as they get back to the top of their order. Daisy and Luigi didn't have a lot of luck last time, but Daisy's aim is true on this inning as she gets a single. And Mr. Consistency, throwing himself on the bed of thorns, bunts for a single to secure runners in 2nd and 3rd. 2 runners in scoring position for the Flowers and plenty of opportunity to increase this lead. Can Luigi capitalize on it with a star hit? He wants to, but Donkey Kong keeps a firm grip on the ball even though he was blasted halfway to the outfield. 2 outs now. Critter is up. Chance for the Wilds to escape a dangerous situation. If they can just get an out here, it's a big hit from Critter, but Tiny and Dixie are there. They make the catch, and the Flowers escape the inning without... Sorry, the Wilds escape the inning without any additional damage dealt. That is a good sign if you're a Wilds fan. Bad sign if you're a Wilds fan. DK is up first in the inning, meaning there will be no one on for him to advance. Good thing, he's DK. Big line drive, knocked out to middle field. It's good for a single. So maybe not the damage you would love to see, but damage nonetheless. So it'll be up to Baby DK to try to advance the man himself. Charges, but watches the first one slide by. Next pitch, drills it, but it's right to Green Magic Koopa, who's able to turn the double play and clear the bases. That means DK's good hitters were diddly squat. So it'll be up to Reggie. Will he be out number 3 for the inning? No. A good single aimed out to center field gets the man on base. So Hammer Bro is the last offensive gasp in this hitting lineup. Charges, he wants a good hit, but Mr. Consistency going wide with some curveballs here. Next attempt is straight down the middle though, and Red Yoshi isn't able to get the fielding to get under it. That's a single from Hammer Bro that puts runners on the corners. Gray Shy Guy isn't a power hitter, but he can be very consistent. No. His attempt goes right to Critter, snags it out of the air for out number 3, and both teams escape dangerous situations back to back. It'll be up to the Wilds, though, if they can escape one more dangerous situation as King K. Rool is staring down a big hit out to center field, and for the second at-bat in a row, there's no hope of catching that one. That's another home run on Junior's Playroom for the King. Two-run homer, followed up by a one-run homer. If patterns continue, just 3 innings from now, I believe that he will be back to a total of 0 scores, as he gets that 0 on homer, -1, and -2 on homer. Green Magic Koopa all alone, but there's no outs on the board, so not a lot of pressure, and very good aim. That hit barely evading Baby DK's glove and getting him a single. Reggie now starting to tire, but he's got an easier section of the lineup to go through. Red Yoshi, though, also aims true. And just like that, the weaker batters are on first and second, and Baby Daisy comes up to Junior's Playroom ready to do some damage. Charges, but watches the first pitch. That was a low fastball. I think that'll only be a strike on the babies in the league. Baby Daisy makes good contact with it, but Tiny Kong is able to get under the ball in left field. I'll keep the runners honest at first and second and prompt Reggie to swap out. So the firepower steps in from first base. Donkey Kong is here to pitch laser fastballs. First one sneaks past JC. Second one, beautifully aimed hit from JC. Actually gets a single, and now we have loaded bases as it's a captain versus captain showdown. Plenty of star power on both teams, but neither of them choose to use it. It's just a clean hit from Daisy. Machikupa hesitates heading home though and is caught out by a quick throw from the outfield. Not sure if the captain was going to be caught out there and punished for it. Mr. Consistency's attempted to slap, caught out by Baby DK. And when you look at that, despite another dangerous situation, despite more loaded bases, the Wilds escape with minimal damage. But if they want this to be a close game, they have to start putting on the damage themselves. Dixie Kong looks to start just that. A good hit for one single will set up Tiny Kong at the bat. If she can get through, we're back to the top of the order, but she's caught out by Critter, who quickly throws out Dixie Kong on the double play. We are back to the top of the order as Tato faces down Luigi yet again. Swings, caught out by Critter. It's a mixed bag. On the one hand, the Wilds will be back to their strongest hitters next inning. On the other hand, obviously, they got no damage done. Meanwhile, the Flowers back to a very strong section of their lineup as Luigi faces down Donkey Kong. Good hit to center field. Too good a hit, though. Caught out by Dixie Kong. Critter can get on base and secure another 2-run homer from the King. Might want a little bit more here, though, as a deep shot to right, caught by the outfield. So it's cleared bases and 2 outs now, as DK is doing well enough against this Flowers offense, who is coming to life in Junior's playroom. It'll be a close watch to see what Kaul can do. He's going to watch an outside curveball. Inside fastball caught, but does not clear the stadium. It's only good for a single. There was some part of me that thought he might get caught out at first base. But it's not the big homer that you expect from him at this point. Green Magic Cooper facing down fastballs from DK. Good slap, good contact. Good for another single. Still, the luck that the back of the Flowers offense had last time is not what you expect from them. Red Yoshi, though, keeps it going with another great slap. And we have loaded bases for Baby Daisy. Again? First pitch, fastball strike. Second pitch, on the inside fastball. She uses star power and forces the bobble. A little bit of a glitch here, as there was definitely a boo used, but I think bouncing off of Baby DK's glove just messed it up. Regardless, the interference from that item brings in 2 more runners off a Baby Daisy double, and we're back to a very familiar and scary scoreline for the Wilds, 0-5. But this time, rather than being the end of the game, we're only in the bottom of the 5th. JC, star hit of their own, slips past Baby DK again at second base, and that's another 2 runners brought in, 4 on the inning. And the Flowers are doing damage, as Baby DK in that second base position isn't stopping these attacks when he needs to. Well-aimed shot from the captain, though. Allows another double, and the pain continues as all 3 of the Daisy chain come up huge in their hits. Mr. Consistency with a chance to bring in even more pain. DK does not want this, but he also doesn't want a Luigi star hit blasting past Hammerboat. Chain Chomp interference as well. Brings in another And the run is on the corners as the Flowers have scored 5 in this inning. Junior's Playroom is not a stadium where we expect that type of offensive damage. Finally, Reggie makes an amazing catch, actually, off of first base to stop it. But 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th? An offensive explosion from the Flowers. Funky Kong will have to be the one on this Wild's offense to start something, but his hit is too high and too deep, unless it bounces off the wall again. No. Red Yoshi and Baby Daisy go for that one, catch that one out. And Funky Kong's attempt at a big homer stopped cold. I think losing Miku really hurt the Wild's morale. Something is going on here. As DK finally comes alive offensively and shows that he's not one to mess with. He'll actually start his team's offense with a big 1-run homer. So, signs, if the Wild can get back to DK with the runners on base, they can put runs on the board. But a weaker start from DK means that they have very little time to do so. Baby DK definitely wants to contribute to the offense with that line drive going way foul, but a well-aimed popped-up hit to the Daisy outfield, the Flower field even, means it's a single. Reggie now faces down Luigi, who's still going strong at the top of the 6th. That should be noted. Amazing stamina on this man. Or rather, lack of offensive success from the Wilds. Reggie gets a well-aimed shot of his own. Baby barely going over the head of Green Magic Koopa, as I think Baby Daisy got shot by a gun in the outfield. Hammerbro has 2 runners on the bases. What can he get out of it? He can get a big hit up center. Red Yoshi has to sprint for it, throws up Baby Daisy, but it's not in time. And the Wilds say, oh, you got 5 runs in 1 inning? Hold my hammer and deliver 2 big bombs of their own. Now, it's not a 5-run inning yet, but they only have 1 out. Good response from the Wilds to stay in this game. Gray Shy Guy also finds a well-aimed shot for a single. That'll weigh down the morale of anyone, let alone Mr. Consistency. As Dixie Kong steps to the plate, and we'll watch the first strike swing past her. Good hit on the second one, but Green Magic Koopa reels that one in and turns the double play. The Wilds aren't technically keeping up because, well, it's 5 runs for the Flowers, 4 runs for the Wilds as a response, but they are back in this game as they shrink an 8-run deficit to only 4. Still, the Flowers, great opportunity to respond back of their own as they're leading off with Critter K. Rule. A lot of work marked out for DK here. Critter's soft hit is good for a single, and that's all the man needs. It's now up to the king himself. King K. Rule versus Donkey Kong. A rivalry that's lasted 30 years, and which K. Rule says is not over yet. A big dinger, and 3 of K. Rule's at-bats this game have been home runs as he alone drills in 5 total points of this Flowers 10-run scoreline. That'll break the will of Donkey Kong as his rival drills in another homer, and Tiny Kong will be brought in from the outfield to try to salvage the pitching in this game. Yeah, Home Run Derby on Bowser Jr. is not what you typically expect, but I think that should be given credit to also the small ball players. Green Magic Koopa, Red Yoshi, Baby Daisy, all of which have shown up offensively and continue to show up offensively. Red Yoshi with another great drilled shot out to right field. It'll prompt Green Magic Koopa to run all the way home. And the double from Red Yoshi brings in another run on this inning for the Flowers. Baby Daisy with another well-aimed shot. What is this offense? I could have sworn that if DK threw them home, he could have caught out Red Yoshi, but he opts not to. And that's another run. 4 on the inning from the Flowers. Finally. No, I was going to say JC is the one to really screw things up into a double play, but Hammer Bros too slow to pick it up. Baby Daisy reaches second. It's 1 out, but there's still a runner in scoring position. Charges from Daisy. Again, another perfectly aimed shot. Baby Daisy is going to try to go home and make it safe to be another 5-run inning from the Flowers. On Junior's Playroom, Luigi with a single of his own to put runners on first and second. Luigi drills a bomb. This one shouldn't get out of the park. Dixie Kong and Tato are ready for it. But, like, you think that some of the Wilds saw that shot happen and just felt their shoulders sag a little bit? The damage continues as Quitter steps up, and if Quitter gets on base safely, K. Rool is going to be up for the second time in this inning. This is the 9th batter in this inning, by the way. It's a big, deep hit. Someone needs to get there in time. No, it bounces off the wall, and a bomb interference lets both Daisy and Luigi reach home safely. Tiny Kong doesn't even last an inning as K. Rool steps back to the plate, and Gray Shy Guy is brought in from behind the pitcher's mound. K. Rool's shot, it would have been a home run on basically any other field, but on this one, it's a single as it bounces off those high walls. Desperation from the Wilds kicks in as they just need to find their way past this Flowers offense. But Green Magic Koopa hits another perfectly aimed shot right up the middle. And that'll bring Red Yoshi to the plate. Slaps it. Another perfectly aimed shot. This is unfair. This is unreal. The Flowers cannot get out in this inning. Baby Daisy back up to the plate. You gotta figure, Baby Daisy, what can she do? Charges, contact, line drive. The inning ends as Dixie Kong gets under it. But that is an 8-run inning. Offensive perfection on Junior's Playroom from the Flowers. And they have a 12-run lead. Just like that, in the snap of a finger, with the first batter, the 9th batter from the Wilds lineup, first of the inning getting knocked out. They're back to the top of their order. Green Magic Koopa continues to lock down that second baseman position. And with 2 outs on the inning, 12 runs down, you almost start to wonder if a mercy rule has to be brought into play. Funky Kong drills it as well. What is going on with my computer? Boo interference lets that one sneak to the outside, but Funky Kong will only take the resulting single. Okay, DK, you need to show up here for your team. Charges, contact, but it's not charged enough. Baby Daisy catches it out. And a donut response from a monster inning means that the Wilds, if they want back into this game, they're going to have to score an average of 6 the next 2 innings, assuming that they can get out of the Flowers offense. JC gets on base with, I'm almost mad at this point, another perfect hit single. Daisy steps up to Daisy. I'm saying Daisy's name wrong because of JC. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. This is unfair. Another perfectly shot ball escapes Baby DK's glove at the second base position. Hammerbow does lock down a triple play with that low catch. So it's a scoreless inning for the Flowers, but, well, one good defensive play does not a defense make, and some offensive play has to happen if the Wilds want back into this game. Baby DK does actually find the sweet spot to get a single. So Luigi now continuing to pitch like a champion through the top of the 8th. He faces down Reggie. Body ready. Bat a little cold so far this game. A slap. There's no item support, and that means that that weak hit is easily fielded by Green Magic Koopa for the double play, and Hammerbow has no one on base even if he wants to go for a big hit. Luigi doesn't want to give it to him for free. There is a monster hit, but that will occur foul. And attempt number 2, just a slap from Hammerbow. All he'll take is a single, and unless, well, the Wilds offense comes alive in the latter parts just like the Flowers offense did. Slap from Gray Shy Guy does find its mark. Baby Daisy's is actually hit by fire, but the runners stay safe on first and second. It's up for Dixie Kong. There is a runner in scoring position, but she slaps it. Boo interference doesn't mean much to Baby Daisy actually in that play. The bases are loaded, but the pitcher is swapped. The Captain Daisy is brought in to close out this game. And Tiny Kong is not the batter you want in this position. Her ball quickly caught out by Critter at shortstop. And the Wilds aren't looking to be shut out. But unless they can get their way past K. Rool later in this inning, something they have struggled to do so far. The bobble from Dixie Kong. Such a routine play, and Dixie Kong hits the bobble. It doesn't mean much for the game, but it does mean something for morale. Critter steps up. All he has to do is get on base here. I'm verifying something right now. We have had someone get 22 runs in a game before, so we've broken the train digit barrier. That, oh my god, Critter reminding everybody that he's also an offensive monster. 2-run homer to bring in himself and Luigi. That's gonna make this, what, a 6 to 18 scoreline? 4 to 18 scoreline. Pardon. Gray Shy Eye will be swapped off the mound so he doesn't have to face King K. Rool. Tato is brought in from what? The outfield. Right field no longer has any chemistry, so any shot out there, well, it's hard to hit shots like that in Junior's playroom. K. Rool isn't able to land it every time either. He'll settle for a single. Green Magic Koopa steps to the plate. Any extra damage at this point is basically just insult to injury. Magic Koopa's attempt does go foul. One on first still. Weak slap. That should be a double play. Hammerbow and Baby DK secure that one. And it's at least cleared bases and 2 outs. Not a lot of offensive pressure as Red Yoshi steps to the plate and grounds out. Hammerbow turns that routine play. And it's a 2-run inning in the bottom of the 8th. Meaning that if the Wilds somehow want this, they will need a league record 14 in the top of the 9th. As my headphones, fun fact, run out of power. That's fine. It just means I don't get noise canceling. And, well, it's an echoing silence from the Wilds fans. As Daisy's star pitch is there to try to catch out Funky Kong. He has item support. forces the bobble from Critter, but Tato not believing in it, of course, because the fly ball is caught out at second anyway. Captain DK faces down Captain Daisy. Star power means it doesn't even need full charge for a beautiful 2-run homer. And it's a good offensive performance from him, but that's the 2 runs they need out of 14 to bring this game back. I wouldn't be celebrating too hard. It is a mark, though, for DK that of his team's 6 runs, I believe 4 of them have come off his bat. 6-18 record still, though, as Baby DK caught out by Luigi at third base. One more out ends this game. Reggie faces down Daisy, and it's a star pitch with no item support. He hits into it. That will be the ball game as the Flowers run roughshod through the Wilds. 6-18 scoreline. What a performance from the Flowers to mark themselves as a postseason team. I mean, I'll give you one guess who got MVP. It's Caleb. I accidentally... That's so sad. I didn't even know that was a hotkey. Is that a hotkey? That is a hotkey. Fascinating. That is so sad. Well, Kaul obviously got MVP honors. Obviously. Apparently I decided we didn't need to see that one. I'll have to go back through the VOD just to get the, like, scoreline at some point. That's a shame. Apparently the function keys, F1, F2, F3, F4, also control the camera keys for all the different stadiums. And it looks like the players have already filtered out. So, we do not have the records from that one. Whoopsie daisy. Let's talk about that game, though, and just take a look at these teams for the Wilds versus the Flowers. Unexpected small ball domination coupled with a big hitter in Kaul to clean up those runs when needed. Like, it wasn't just a one-dimensional attack from the Flowers. It wasn't just Kaul. It wasn't just Yoshi, Baby Daisy, and Green Magic Koopa showing up. It was both at the same time. Kaul coming up and 4 of his 6 appearances being home runs. The weaker side, Green Magic Koopa, Red Yoshi, Baby Daisy, after that, almost always getting on base with great hits. Like, yeah, that is what you need in order to get a 6-18 scoreline. And that is a hell of a game from the Flowers. From the Wilds, it's not like the game plan was unforeseeable. Like, DK and Hammer both showed up when they needed to. I would take a look at the second baseman, Baby DK, letting so many errant hits through and just not being the glove that is needed in that second base position. Or maybe it's just the Flowers small ball being that indomitable. It did look like Baby DK missed a lot, but like, how many second basemen in the league could have snagged all those hits flying past him? Like, you gotta ask, is it his fault, or was he just put in a bad position as Flowers small ball and King Kaul dominate the playing field? Well, we'll mark that one in the books. An incredible game from the Flowers, dominating to say the least. And, well, I hyped up the storyline about how they needed to get their run differential back up to positive numbers. That game alone put their run differential back up to positive numbers. We'll head now to our second game, which will actually be the Scrambled Eggs versus the Monarchs. Boop. Yeah, now that I know about this shortcut key, I'm gonna start abusing it. The Scrambled Eggs and the Monarchs. The Monarchs are the bottom team right now on the league. 0-2. Their two opponents so far this season were the Wilds, who did great on DK Jungle on opening day, and the Monsters, who are the #1 team in the league right now, though it's still early days. So maybe still lots of potential for this team, maybe enough opening for them on Playday 1 and 2, but as they face a less offensively consistent team than the Wilds and the Monsters, maybe that defense will really shine through. They've chosen to take us to Daisy Cruiser though, which is much easier to get those big bombs and big hits on, and we don't know exactly what they'll be able to do in order to stop the Scrambled Eggs. The Scrambled Eggs so far have had a fascinating season to watch. Another barn burner game in their rivalry versus the Infernos back on Playday 2. Sorry, the Inferno. And they pulled out at Playday 1 when they beat the Revenge in a barn burner game. The Scrambled Eggs are known for close, terrifying games to watch at this point. PD Piranha is strong, but not the strongest. King Boo has shown home run potential. Yoshi as a captain is fine. Like, this is a very consistently inconsistent team who have brought some of the best games that Grand Slam Galaxy has seen so far in Season 2, or at least the most fun to watch. Can the Monarchs break through and score their first run of the season, or will the Scrambled Eggs finally pull firmly away and just run utter domination on a sluggish playground like Daisy Cruiser, verifying that there's no mistakes real quick right now? Yep, okay. Everything's looking good on my side. I'm getting the nod from the umpires on the field, and it looks to me like we are all set to start. Monarchs versus, Scrambled Eggs versus the Monarchs on Daisy Cruiser. And the second game of Playday 2 begins right now. I appreciate Peach having the correct hair color again. It means something to me. Toadsworth, solid pitcher in his own right, will start against King Boo, who we've seen home run potential from before. Be a hell of a start to start with a home run, but no, just a well-aimed shot out to left field. A little bit of confidence from King Boo going for second base, but they make it with a good amount of time, and that's a double to start off the game. Immediately, the second batter for the Scrambled Eggs sees an RBI chance as Cookie faces down Toadsworth. Charges on the pitch, knocks that slow ball, but Blue Toad does manage to get out of it and keep his team out of a dangerous position. There's still that runner on second though, and plenty of time to bring it in. Yellow Yoshi isn't known exactly as a slugging hitter, but if Red Yoshi earlier can do so well, maybe Yellow Yoshi can show what he's worth here. Slap hit goes straight to Blue Critter, and that's an out, but it does advance the runner to third. So not so much luck on that one. It'll be up to Baby Peach to try to bring this runner home and actually cash that check. She doesn't like the first pitch though. I don't think she knows what a check is. Second pitch goes foul, so 2 strikes on the board against her. She'll slap the third one right to Blue Critter. Power block comes in time though and stuns Peach. King Boo can't make the run for home off that, but it does get us to Captain Yoshi. Runners in the corners, 2 outs, slow curveball, watches it fly. Second pitch, another slow curveball, Toadsworth special, but Blue Critter makes the diving catch on Captain Yoshi. Slap hit. That'll clean that inning up. And the Monarchs are able to stop the Scrambled Eggs from an early lead. Now, they'll have to find one of their own. Blue Critter charges up early against Yellow Yoshi. As the star offensive hitter, you expect something from Blue Critter. And a double? Yes, he slides into second base safely for the double. No items needed to help him on that one. Means that Nerissa already has a runner on second for an RBI chance. Watches 2 strikes right down the middle from Yellow Yoshi. Third one she'll catch, but a miss on the fastball from... I'm not sure what Blue Critter was doing there, but he'll charge into third base and bash the baby to make it safely. I don't know why. I don't think he was hit by an item. He just stopped running from second to third from a second. Maybe to pose? Did anyone catch that? Someone check his Instagram. Blue Shy Guy, chance to bring it in, but Baby Peach turns the triple play by herself. After being ran through by Blue Critter on third base and knocked into Narnia, she stands up, brushes the dust off, and is like, hang on a second. This is my field, and turns the triple play. Now, we'll try to bring the damage out for the Scrambled Eggs. Slap hit, though, quickly caught out by Blue Critter. That brings up the batting monster, Petey Piranha. Not known this season for great success at the plate, but always potential, especially on the tilted Daisy Cruiser. The attempt does fall flat, though. Off-contact hit will lead to a quick ground out. That's 2 outs now on the inning against the Scrambled Eggs. Blooper can try to make it. Actually, a little bit of assistance from the monster Blooper in the outfield, I think, is what allowed Blooper to reach first base. I think the tilting of the ship curved that ground ball out of Blue Pianta's hands. Mr. Consistency wants that moniker back, but he wants more with a big charge hit. That's a big hit out to left field. If this one escapes, Toadette isn't going to make it there in time. Yes, it will. Well, Wiggler, welcome to the scoreboard. And off the tilted side of the ship, it's the Scrambled Eggs who strike first off a good 2-run homer. Toadsworth has got to feel embarrassed about that one. So embarrassed that he'll actually step off the mound. And Peach will be brought in as King Boo marks the return to the top of the batting order for the Scrambled Eggs. Catches the fastball from Peach and a good shot out to right field for a single. Still 2 outs. The Monarchs just need to find their way out of this inning as Cookie steps to the board. She's charging early on these pitches, actually. Won't charge on this one, slaps it. Blue Critter, though, makes the hero dive. What a catch from that absolute beast of a player. Finally, Gargantua in the background decides they have enough, but still with a 2-run homer, the Scrambled Eggs are the team to beat. Fun fact, by the way, it would not be hard to replace the icons and the team images in this game. That is something I'm just going to say out loud. So if anyone ever sends me a PNG, or a set of PNGs at any point, it would be relatively easy. Blue Pianta also caught out, and the Monarchs' offense woes continues, as Blue Toad is now maybe the last batter. No, not for the Monarchs yet. A good hit out to right field off that slap does mean that's a good single, and there's a runner on. Toadette, though, 2 outs, not any wiggle room for a bunt or anything to try to advance the runner. No tricks here, just needs a good hit. And King Boo does manage to get under that one. Barely within King Boo's glove range. But barely within is good enough for an out. There's no half outs in baseball. There's just a 2-0 lead for the Scrambled Eggs. Peach now has to find her way past rival pitcher, apparently, Yellow Yoshi, as Blue Critter catches the ground out. This is the type of hit, I don't want to harp on it too much, this is the type of hit you would have expected from the Wild's offense, but apparently not last game. Flowers offense, excuse me. Baby Peach faces down her older self and makes good contact, though the IQ still needs to develop, as all that good contact means is that Toadette is able to make the catch with good ease. Captain versus Captain as Yoshi faces down Peach. Not exactly known as a slugger as Captain Yoshi, but his slap is good enough for a single. Now that he's on the bases, there's plenty of room left to run for that fast dino. That'll leave the question to her slap caught out by Blue Pianta, quickly turns the out to get at the captain at second base, and that's the third, meaning no more damage for the Scrambled Eggs this inning. It'll be up to the Monarchs to see what damage they're able to do. They are at the back of their batting order, Toadsworth, Peach up before they're able to get back to serious batters. And I believe that Toadsworth heard me. The POW block knocks out everyone but himself. And that's great baseball IQ from the veteran to turn a situation he had absolutely no right to get on base into a good single. Excellently aimed shot. Unfortunately for him, Peach needs a little bit more time to mature in that department, as her attempt to follow it up is a slap right to at second base. That's the double play to strike all the runners off the bases for the Monarchs. Blue Critter wants to return fire though, and remind everyone that there is a home run caliber hitter on this squad. It's a single run homer. I mean, I'm not shocked. It does reduce this to a 1-run lead and put the Monarchs in close contention. But if the only time the Monarchs scores when Blue Critter comes around, that's not going to be enough for this team. The bobble from Wiggler and the bomb too to interfere. Let's Nurse has safely reached second. She's going all the way for third. That's a rare triple here in Grand Slam Galaxy, as that bobble might just turn into a tie game if Blue Shy Guy is able to capitalize. Charges, good hit. That should be a catch from Wiggler and King Boo though. It is. So, no real permanent damage from the mistake, which is a relief to any Scrambled Eggs fans in the audience. I think we just watched Wiggler fucking die. I think he's dead. Speaking of Scrambled Eggs fans, you better watch out when Petey Piranha is charging early. These fastballs from Peach, though, oh so devastating. And an oh so devastating hit from Petey Piranha. It'll stay in the field just barely, but Blue Toad isn't going to get under it due to some fish interference. And that's a double. Blooper finds their way through Peach's star pitch, and with a beautifully aimed shot to the outfield, actually, for a single to put runners on the corners with no outs. All right, Monarchs, your defense is going to have to come up huge here. Fastball on the outside. Wiggler does manage to get it. They do try to catch out Petey Piranha at home base, but he's just too close. And it's a single for Wiggler. The Monarchs do get an out of it, but they're not able to catch out Petey Piranha, and the Scrambled Eggs lead extends to 3. King Boo's next attempt, perfectly aimed to center right field to put runners back on the corner and put doubt back into the mind of any Monarchs fans. Top of the fourth, one out. Runners in the corners. Peach wants to try for a signature ball, but, well, Cookie just watches it fly by. No love for that love ball. And the curveball is caught out. Another perfectly aimed shot for another good single. Puts a runner on first, runner on second, drives an RBI in, and the Scrambled Eggs are up to that 4-1 scoreline. Doing very well right now. As Yellow Yoshi comes in, high ball caught out by Blue Noki, but the runners are smart enough to stay close to the bases. So it'll only be 2 outs. Baby Peach did damage last time she faced her older self. Oh, she caught out by Toadette, I forget. A slap hit, though, won't go anywhere near far enough to escape this infield. The Monarchs turn the third out, but the eggs, the Scrambled Eggs, are up to 4 runs. Now it'll be up to the Monarchs. Who on this team can do damage besides Blue Critter? Well, Blue Noki says, me. A well-aimed shot, barely outside the reach of Wiggler, means that there's a runner on early. Yellow Yoshi will try to keep him honest, but Blue Pianta just has to get something going for the team here. Blue Toad up next is a wonderfully consistent hitter. That slap from Blue Pianta does evade Wiggler, and the speed from Blue Noki means they touch up on second base safely. That's a runner on first, runner on second, no outs now. Can Blue Toad advance these runners? Can he ever? Another well-aimed shot, and that's loaded bases with no outs. We've seen how quickly this situation can turn. But Toadette doesn't want it to turn. She wants the ship to rock, and she'll get another single and drive in the second Monarchs run of the game. 4-2 scoreline. Bases are still loaded. 0 outs. Toadsworth drills one out to right field? That's foul, right? Yeah. That's foul. Toadsworth wants it, though, and if there's one stadium for him to get it on, well, the bobble! No! You can't do this! This can't happen again! This wasn't supposed to happen again! This wasn't supposed to happen again! Not off King Boo! Why is it King Boo? Why is it the same coaching staff twice? There's the second time in Grand Slam Galaxy history that a bobble into a home run might decide the game. Last time, against the Rookies, it was a 2-run bobbled homer scored by Boo on Yoshi Park. This time, same coaching staff. It's the Scrambled Eggs who bobble a Grand Slam because King Boo bobbling. I can't make this shit up. And another big homer from Blue Critter. And the Monarchs are more than back in this league as they score 6 runs in 3 batters. That was a Toadsworth Grand Slam, by the way. Another bobble from Yellow Yoshi. And Nerissa successfully reaches first base. There's no outs in the inning so far, by the way. Bunt attempt from Blue Shy Guy will run foul. Still wants the bunt to advance Nerissa. Sip. But with 2 strikes, should go for a hit. Slaps it. The diving catch from turns the double play, though. It's a good hit on Yoshi's shoulders to stay in this game. Did just have like a rainbow face tattoo? Whatever. Blue Noki grounds out to Yellow Yoshi at shortstop. Finally, the Scrambled Eggs find their way out of that inning, but the Monarchs come up big with a 7-run inning off of a Grand Slam bobble. Princess Peach caught out by Yoshi on her star hit. Haven't seen a lot of success from that hit. from that pitch. She starts to tire as Captain Yoshi successfully gets a single. That'll lead to some interesting questions for the Monarchs. Who do you bring in? Another excellently aimed shot from along the third baseline, almost flies out of the ship, and that'll be enough to take Peach off the mound. It's Nerissa from third base, arguably the best pitcher to put in that position, who will try to close out this game for the Monarchs, but they'll have to find their way past Petey. Charge hit, deep center field. Fish interference again, though, means that the Scrambled Eggs can sneak a runner home. And off that double, is it 2 fish interferences saving Petey in this game? What the hell? Well, that's a good double. That's a run-in for the Scrambled Eggs. They're on the board for this inning, as we are still only in the top of the 5th. Blooper slaps it, finds the outfield. Blue Noki will have to try to find that boo ball. And that single with the item interference turns this into a 2-run game as slides into home. And we are officially runners in the corners, no outs on the board. Mr. Consistency caught out, and Blue Pianta with that cannon of an arm secures the double play on Blooper, the runner on first. That means that King Boo will be the last runner of this inning as Toadsworth keeps a hold of that one. Still, 2 on the inning for the Scrambled Eggs. And, like, pardon the Grand Slam from the Monarchs. Like, if the Monarchs didn't get that Grand Slam, they would only be 6-2 scoreline right now. Because they got that home run after the Grand Slam, and it wouldn't have happened. But the elevated ship means that that high hit ball from Blue Toad is caught out by doesn't even have to jump for it. Now Toadette faces no runners on. Yellow Yoshi catches her out, and it's quick defensive inning from the Scrambled Eggs. Cookie steps up to the plate now. As the Scrambled Eggs come back on, they still have 2 runs to make up in this game if they want it. Her slap, though, quickly caught out by Blue Critter for the first out of the inning. Yellow Yoshi will have to try to find something out of Nerissa's glove. Let the first one slide by. Second pitch also flies by. That's an inside fastball. Third pitch from Nerissa straight down the middle, and Yellow Yoshi catches it, but Blue Pianta catches that hit. That's a good diving slide from the Pianta. A lot of momentum. Nothing that big should move that fast. That's 2 outs now on the inning. Chance to shut down the Scrambled Eggs off Baby Peach's rattle. And no fish interference there to stop Toadette from making the catch. Securing a quick 3-up, 3-out. I don't mean to scare anyone, but the giant blooper is back. Uh-oh. So Toadsworth stares down Yoshi. It was his Grand Slam that set the team up for such great success earlier. And the slap is quickly caught out by for the first out. Captain Peach against Yoshi. But what can she do here? Well, she'll get a slap like to for the second out. So it'll be Blue Critter. Last gasp or lightning strike for the Monarchs. He's been very successful so far. 2 home runs already in this game. He wants a third. As it's high into the left, that's a single shot homer. That is something on this inning for the Monarchs. Still, not great when their biggest offense is coming off Blue Critter's bat. But you will never complain about one player getting 3 home runs in one game. Nice scoreline here for Nerissa. She'll attempt to copy the success of Blue Critter, but fails to find quite the angle. A deep hit to center right field. possible banana interference. Does not matter, as Wiggler's butt is big enough to still bounce that ball to King Boo? I think that's what just happened. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's what happened. It does put the Monarchs up 6-9 on this scoreline. So Yoshi versus Nerissa. Good slap from the captain to get on base, but the shell interference doesn't actually mean anything. It's just a message to Toadette. Runner on first. Knocks away a good single to get onto base as well. So runner on first and second now. No outs against the Scrambled Eggs. Petey Piranha hasn't shown up in the home run department yet this game, but that doesn't change by an inch as that hit goes foul. The next attempt won't, though. Not enough time for the Toads. Petey Piranha hits a big homer when it's needed most, and despite a bobbled grand slam leading into a 7-run inning, the Scrambled Eggs have tied up this game at a 9-9 scoreline. When Nerissa's starting to tire, you gotta worry about who comes in to relieve that pitcher. Blooper's attempt to keep up the pressure will be caught out by Blue Pianta at shortstop. They are one of the people that the Monarchs like to bring in as a pitcher. Mr. Consistency also caught out by the diving play, this time at second base from Blue Critter. So 2 outs on the inning. King Boo steps up to the plate. Good offense so far from the King. What can he make out of it? Big hit. Goes to center right field. That'll just be a single. Alright, Cookie will come up. She has a run on first to try to advance. The game is tied, so there's a little bit less pressure on her. And maybe that leads to a little bit of a lazy hit that Blue Critter snags out of the air to end that inning. And despite the Monarchs' absolute, well, being given a bobbled grand slam, this game is only tied. Blue Shy Guy knocks it right to Yellow Yoshi. That's the first out of the inning. Blue Noki now steps up to the plate. And against the captain, Yoshi, tries to slap it. Whiffs on that one. 2 strikes now. We haven't had a strikeout yet today. Won't have a strikeout yet. Blue Noki will instead simply hit it to the second base player. As catches that one for the second out. No runners on the bases for Blue Pianta to try to advance. A little bit of an awkward position. The slap hit just goes right to Blooper in left field. That is 2 outs, and the Monarchs go scoreless in the bottom of the 7th, while the Scrambled Eggs offense remains hot as ever. So if you want to give it up to which team has more gas, the Scrambled Eggs are definitely the team in contention for that. Yellow Yoshi will get on base with a solid hit straight up the middle. Stamina woes continue for third pitcher Nerissa. As Baby Peach makes weak contact but aims it perfectly, keeping it right out of the gloves of both Blue Pianta and Blue Critter. That means that the captain himself steps up to the plate with a chance to bring in at least one runner in scoring position and another runner on. But his attempt caught out by Blue Pianta. Blue Pianta and Blue Critter, some of the most dangerous infielders because of those quick throw arms, and they will turn that double play to deny the Scrambled Eggs a lead. The Monarchs still in deep trouble here. They have more chances to put runs on the board, but how much of those runs were led up to fate? How much of those runs were lucky grand slam? If they want to show that they belong in this league, some of these players are going to have to start showing up on the scoreboard besides just Blue Critter, who I think is responsible for all the runs for the Monarchs besides that grand slam. No, he's responsible for at least 3 of them. But the double play as makes a beautiful jumping catch and throws the ball almost before she even touches the ground. That'll put Toadsworth into the batting box, but he simply grounds out to as well. One player turns all 3 outs again for the scrambled eggs. And we're heading into the 9th inning with a 9-9 tied scoreline. So, question is on can you show up when your team needs you? Well, first question got it wrong as grounds out. PD Piranha though, here to tutor, is caught out though by Blue Toad in left field as well. So that's 2 quick outs against the scrambled eggs here in the top of the 9th. Blooper might be the last gasp from them. Not yet. He does hit a good shot up the middle. That is a single. So 2 outs now. Top of the 9th, 9-9 score line. Mr. Consistency, what can you do for your team when they need you? It's a star pitch slider, but good contact is caught out by Peach. The scrambled eggs go quiet in the 9th. Blue Critter is up 2nd for the Monarchs. If he can do what he's done all game and score a big homer, the Monarchs can walk this one off. Peach's batting almost doesn't matter, but the captain will actually get on base with a single. Alright, Yoshi, you need to shut down Blue Critter. Can you do it? Pitch down the middle. Blue Critter watches that one. Doesn't like it. Second pitch. A little more on the inside. Caught by Blue Critter. It's not out of here, though. It's caught by Wiggler for a quick out. And the most dangerous batter in the Monarchs lineup goes down quiet. Meaning they have a runner on. They only have 1 out, but they need to advance that runner. Narissa actually does so beautifully with a well-aimed hit. The walk-off run reaches 3rd base off that double, and the Monarchs just need to bring 1 runner home. The captain can be the run that wins them their first game of the season. Blue Shy Guy versus Yoshi. Swings, star hit, out, perfectly aimed. Peach touches home base, and that is the game. A beautiful ending as the Monarchs, by divine intervention, secure their first win of Season 2. What is wrong with the scrambled eggs where every single game they've had of the regular season has come down to the 9th inning, but not gone into overtime, and a team has won by 1 run? Why does this keep happening to the scrambled eggs specifically? MVP honors well earned by Blue Critter as the Monarchs secured that much needed win. Now, I will party poop a little bit on the Monarchs here. That was a little bit of a divine intervention game, as they needed a bobbled grand slam. Now, their offense in that last bit was looking pretty good, and you never know. It's possible that they could have pulled it off without it. But the ramification effects, I think, would have gone in. So when you need a bobbled grand slam in order to pull off a close win, that's not... You're happy that you're able to get your win from the season, but you need more if you want to stay competitive and if you want to build towards a postseason appearance. Of course, Blue Critter more than earning that MVP status off bomb after bomb after bomb for his team this game when they needed him most. Not a lot to say otherwise, though, about this Monarchs lineup. I will give credit to Narissa, who did a great job pitching that game. But something is going to have to be shaken up a little bit here if the Monarchs want to stay competitive with some of the top teams in this league. The Scrambled Eggs continue their incredibly cursed run. After winning in Playday 1 because of Yoshi Park, 2 incredibly close games taken away from them in the 9th inning by their opponent. They're 1-2 with a -1 scoreline and a fascinating history so far in Season 2. I don't even know what you change or optimized for the Scrambled Eggs. I think all you do with the Scrambled Eggs is you watch them closely, because every single one of these teams' games has been a banger. They are incredible to watch and will be close to my heart after going forward. What an incredible team. A win that the Monarchs can celebrate, but not one that they should take as relief, one that they should take as a sign going forward to try to keep building up their team, heading deeper into Grand Slam Galaxy. Now, for our third game of the day, we will actually have, the Infernos versus the Revenge. The Infernos, a 1-1 team, -6 run differential here, but you know, it's early in the season. They showed up against the Scrambled Eggs on DK Jungle last game, and I believe they largely kept the same roster as from that Playday, meaning that they're trusting in this core, this red-purple core, to have their opponents bruised and battered. We'll have to see how much it leads them to future success, as Boo will be that starting pitcher for them. Tojima will keep star lights, and we'll have to see if Firebro shows up. However, their opponents, the Revenge, have chosen to take them to DK Jungle on this Playday, meaning that the Inferno are the visiting team on DK Jungle night back to back. People just love to take the Inferno to DK Jungle, I suppose, and, well, last time it worked out for them. The Revenge, though, I believe this is their first... No, it's not their first time going to a not defensively sided park. They are, however, one of the O2 teams. They're down only by -3 run differential, though, so their run differential is actually better than the Infernos. They just haven't been able to close out a win in the preseason, or in the regular season, after going 2-0 in the preseason. Not any changes from the Revenge squad either, so trusting in what they've built, they just need to bring this one home. It's going to be a bros battle, as Firebro and Boomerang Bro on mirrored positions face off against each other, also in that 4th batter slot, with the captains, Diddy Kong and Dante, also in that 3rd batter slot. I'm looking for any other parallels, don't see much. So, I see that we do have Clowns in batter slots number 7 with Waluigi and Neru. But with that joke thrown out there to try to get an angry mob at my door, it's the Infernos versus the Revenge. Can the Infernos find a lack of consistency and keep on battling for the top of this season's scoreboard? Or will the Revenge net their first win of the regular season and have their Revenge tour kicked off in earnest? We find out now that we head to DK Jungle at night. You're right, Neru doesn't deserve that. That's me being me. I also just realized I wasn't even the voice channel. There we go. Now if anyone pops in, I'll be ready for it. What a wild, bobbled home run. Big thank you to Dark for clipping that. I can't believe that both the bobbled home runs had a Boo involved. Boo getting one and then King Boo bobbling it. And that's just poetry. Strawberry gets off base with a good single. Red Noki follows it up with a good single of her own. Boo assisted means that Strawberry is able to get all the way to third base. And that's runners on the corners now for Captain Dante to work with, as the Infernos are starting off strong. Booming Bow will catch Dante's throw though, and what? Okay, I missed which team was the runners. Boomerang Bow did manage to catch the runner at second for the first out, but while they tried to catch Strawberry at home, they just barreled straight through and got the first run. So the Infernos now lead 1-0, and that is where the scoreline will stay as Firebow gets an uncharacteristic weak hit, which allows a double play and brings the Infernos out of the box and into the field. 1-0 scoreline. Can the Revenge return fire? You would think so. Not a bad team on offense either, the Revenge is starting off with Any. I'm gonna take my chance of Any's slap being caught out by Firebro to make sure that I keep these standings updated. You know what? I'll worry about it later. Monty Mole's slap is caught out by Shy Guy. That does mean that that's 2 outs and 2 batters against the Revenge. So Diddy Kong is going to have to try to get on base here if his team wants any offense. Though his attempt will also be caught out by Shy Guy, who didn't even have to move. And that means that it will be 1-0 unreturned damage against the Infernos. Return to the batting box. What's the yell for? Is it just a 3 up, 3 out? Sorry, buddy. Big pop fly caught out against the Infernos. Red Shy Guy also goes for a big pop fly. Ollie is in position. The shell, not there in time, not aimed well enough. 2 outs now off 2 big pop flies. Lucky for the Infernos, Waluigi isn't known to hit those like that. No, his slap is just going to be caught out by Diddy Kong. See, a lot quicker, a lot more considerate of the schedule here. And that will be a scoreless top of the second for the Infernos. The Revenge come back with a vengeance. Boomwing Bow has a good chance to start off the batting for the team here. But Boo knows that the drum beat is going off in the background, and we expect an earthquake here. Doesn't come in time, but bouncing off the roots does mean that Boomerang Bow reaches first base safely. So it'll be Brown Critter now. He has a runner on. He's a critter, so you know he's got a hammer of an arm on him. Despite Hammer Bow being the only bow not in this game. Swings wildly on 2 strikes though. Boo is trying something more inside though. Good contact from Brown Critter, denied by Shy Guy. Turns an excellent double play. And just like that, the bases are cleared against the Revenge. Eggman needs to find something here. With 2 strikes though. Won't be forced to swing. Slap hit. It's well aimed. Perfectly aimed on that flower, funnily enough. But still, it just is a single. And Nehru will try to return fire and keep the Jacket offense going. Jersey Jacket, I think we call them jerseys. Her catch though, her hit though, caught out by a fire catch from Fire Bro, means that the Revenge still don't find the scoreboard. Not a lot of pressure yet, considering it's a 1-0 scoreline, but still, the Revenge are going to have to find their offensive potential soon. The Inferno's in a very good spot in their batting lineup. Don Quixote will get caught out. She grounds out. The green shell is not there in time to stop it. So, Purple Toad. Tojima, with that extra star power, we'll have to see what he's able to do. swings on Monty Mole's pitch and gets a good single out to center field. That means that Strawberry is in good position, though Strawberry wants to bunt it. These Beyontas sure do love bunting, or maybe she's just taunting Monty Mole, knowing that there's no danger. Fireball knocks out both fielders perfectly. What a fireball thrown out by Red Noki, managing to hit both the infielders. The bunt goes off, not just successfully advancing the runner, but safely reaching first base. A Pianta bunted and safely reached first. Doesn't matter, as quickly the Revenge turned the double play on that one to stop the Inferno's offense. I just realized that I still have the Fugi activated from streaming while high last night. My little blue face is gone. And Ollie starts off the inning weak for her team as she grounds out to shortstop. Peridot now will try to avenge Ollie, and does so with a nice single. The Earthquake. Oh, let me catch my breath. The Earthquake knocks out Red Noki in the outfield, though. That does mean that Peridot manages to sneak out a double, and Any has a chance to advance that runner and tie this game. It's only a one-run game. It's really close. You don't need me to tell you that, unless you never learned numbers. But I feel like even if you failed out of kindergarten, you still learn the difference between 1 and 0 is not a lot. It is 100% though. As Any's big pop fly to the outfield, Red Noki easily sneaks under for that one. Peridot almost decides to go for it anyway, but stays at second. So Monty Mole continues. The only chance now for the Inferno, or for the Revenge to tie this inning. Oh, you may be wondering, by the way, because this was going to happen, I believe, on Peach's Ice Garden, and then the Revenge backed out of it because the cowards. Diddy Kong, the captain, has runners on the corners, 2 outs. Good opportunity to bring in the tying run of the game. Slap hit, though, isn't going to be enough to escape the infield. Firebro makes the quick jump up catch for that one. And a good opportunity denied to the Revenge once again. This ball remains small as the Infernos hold on to a 1-0 lead at the top of the 4th. Captain Dante wants his team's lead to grow, but after 2 strikes from Montague Mole, the slider caught. That'll be a good single from the captain at least. Not much to write home about, not much to complain about either. Firebro faces down Monty Mole. Not a lot of firepower shown from him so far, but a deep charge will go straight to Ollie in the outfield for the first out. So it'll be Boo who's here to try to show what he can do. Hopefully you didn't see, or maybe you did see, that bobble grand slam from last game before walking onto the field for this one. Not going to return the favor though. Quick ground out, actually hits into a double play. And that means that the Infernos are also shut down in the top of the 4th. We continue at a 1-0 scoreline. Boomerang Bro fielding the pitches from Boo. Charging early, wants something here, but we'll just watch the first 2 pitches slide by. I like the 3rd pitch for some reason, even though the outside pitch leaves them spinning. We'll finally make contact on the 4th pitch. It's a good single. As a well-aimed slap out to center left field lands safely. Brown Critter. Great line drive out to deep center right. Will allow Boomerang Bro to reach all the way to 3rd base, and once again, the Revenge are in position to tie this game if they can just bring it home. Eggman, the batter with the responsibility on him, versus Boo, swings on it, but Shy Guy dives and makes the catch, and that's a quick double play. It doesn't catch out the runner at third, but it does get 2 outs, meaning the Revenge great position goes down to a mediocre one. Neru is the last chance the Revenge have to advance this runner. Swings, contact is made, it goes over Shy Guy's head. The Earthquake helps out a little bit, but it's all good and it's all fair, as Neru does actually manage to get the double off the Earthquake and bring in the tying run for the Revenge. We have a tied 1-1 scoreline. And, you never know, a chance for the Revenge to make it 2-1. If Ollie can evade Shy Guy's glove, and no, she cannot. Shy Guy catches that one out, closes the Revenge's in. It is back to a tied game. And the question now is which team's defense can keep this up for longer, as we have 5 short innings ahead of us if this game continues the way that it's going. Shy Guy, after stealing last game, will actually be caught out by Ali in the outfield, who's not interfered with by an Earthquake thanks to her flying ability. I'm sure she's very happy about that one. Now it'll be Waluigi facing down Monty Mole. Slap hit, beautifully aimed with a lot of firepower behind it, does actually make it out to right field, and that's a single for Waluigi. So Don Quixote continues it with another great slap. Ollie fields that one, but it's not fast enough to stop the runners. Run on first, run on second. Montague Mole starting to look a little bit tired here. 1 out is on the scoreline, but a starred Tojima has plenty of runners to work with in order to try to increase this damage. 2 strikes against the toe. Next pitch comes in, slap, goes just over the head of Brown Critter, and with a little bit of Boo assistance, holds the outfield in its tracks. That allows Waluigi to reach all the way home, and it's another 1-run lead for the Infernos. That will chase Montague Mole off. Montague Mole? Monty Mole. You started saying Montague in the chat and it confused me. That will push Monty Mole off of the pitcher's mound, but Captain Diddy is nothing to scoff at as he tries to guide his team out of this run around the corners, 1 out situation. Teasing the edge of the plate against Strawberry. Wants to throw against something wild, and this curveball pitch caught by Strawberry. Ollie is not able to get under it in time, and they're not able to stop the runner from reaching home in time. Don Quixote runs it in and gives the Infernos a 2-run lead. Now we have a 3-1 game, which by no means is absolutely like unshakable. Hopefully now the Infernos can get stopped at Red Noki before they keep going, but Red Noki has been a very consistent batter, a very good batter for the Infernos actually. So we'll see if this star pitch from Diddy Kong is able to trick them out. It is. 2 strikes now. Simple slider caught by Red Noki. Brown Critter does not make the dive. I thought that would have been in Brown Critter's wheelhouse, but apparently they weren't feeling it. Lets the ball touch grass, lets the runner touch first base. Now bases loaded for Captain Dante. Neru, though, does a great jumping catch to snag Dante's ball out of the air. Lands on first base for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Revenge do finally end the Infernos top of the 5th. They're bottom of the 5th now, though. Tied game now finds themselves in a 2-run deficit. Peridot wants to get the party started with a good single. And Boo is tired. He'll actually be taken off the mound. So, primary pitcher, in quotes there, Waluigi, brought into the mound. Very strong pitcher, Waluigi. We'll see what he's able to do. Green Shy Guy, and he actually does a great start hit straight down the 3rd baseline. Peridot is able to reach all the way to third turret safely, and the Revenge fire back quickly. Runner in scoring position. Runners on the corners. No outs, but Monty Mole is caught out by Firebro. And that double play looks all too familiar as it cleans the runner off first as well. That means that if Diddy Kong wants to shrink this lead, he'll have to smash it past Waluigi to bring Peridot in home. The slider is watched and it falls flat. The second slider makes it past Diddy Kong's glove. Third attempt, it's inside. Good contact from Diddy Kong, but is it too good? Red Noki and Dante are there. They make the catch, and the effort from Diddy Kong is silenced. The Revenge aren't able to capitalize off an early runner on third, left stranded. And the Infernos maintain their 2-run lead. Still a good amount of baseball left to play though. That was only inning number 5. I said that this was going to be 5 quick innings, and that inning took a year. Diddy Kong pitching against Firebro. Firebro not a lot of pressure on him since his team has the lead in this low-scoring game, but any line drive is a good line drive. And that'll be a single. Boo, with a runner on, has to try to find something here. Well, they'll find Brown Critter's glove, who's quickly able to fire in the ball to first before that green shell hits him. Excellent speed. And Boomerang Bro reels in Shy Guy's hit. That means that there's nothing for the Infernos at the top of the 6th. And the Revenge are in a powerful section of their lineup at the bottom of the 6th. Boomerang Bro's attempt, though, is caught out by Red Noki really easily out in center field. Good catch by the Nokester. Brown Critter tries a similar hit, but a lot lower. That'll be good enough for a single, as it evades Red Noki's glove. Brings the man to first base. So, Eggman has a runner on. Has only 1 out to worry about. The Boo actually stops Strawberry from getting under it, but stops Brown Critter from feeling confident about running. It's not the same situation. Eggman is a faster runner than Brown Critter, so it's something for the Revenge, but still, an out is never something you want to see, obviously. Ah, yes, the cunning commentary from me here is Nehru swings into a star pitch. It's a big pop fly, and a little bit of a sassy bomb to blow up Shy Guy and Firebro. Won't matter for much. The Revenge, again denied in the bottom of the 6th. They're only down by 2, but scoring 1 has been so much trouble for them versus this Inferno's lineup. Especially with Waluigi back on the plate, charges and makes contact. It's a little bit bad and late, though. It'll unfoul. Still, captain versus, well, captain tier player is nothing to scoff at. A bobble from Brown Critter will actually let Waluigi reach the bases, maybe paying a little bit too much attention to the bananas to get a good grip on that ball. So Diddy Kong tiring out does lead us to the obvious question: who pitches next for the Revenge? Don Quixote isn't worried about that, though. Don Quixote is worried about knocking one out of the park now. Peridot and Ollie. Plenty of time, though, to get under that ball and snag it before it gets out of this park. A little bit of unsureness about where exactly to stand made me worry that perhaps that one was going to escape. But no. They clean it up, they secure the out. Diddy Kong remaining on the mound to face Tojima. But Tojima is immediately caught out. That line drive caught by a jumping catch from Brown Critter, who turns the double play and stops the Infernos in the top of the 7th. Neither team has been able to crack the scoreboard very deeply, but when the Infernos are the team to have done it at all, well, that's good enough for a lead. 3-1 is not a big lead, though, and Ollie has to keep that in mind. She is up to the plate against Waluigi. Another spitball, but this one caught. Not well enough. Firebro will catch that one out at the shortstop position. Peridot has done some good revenge for Ollie before. Launches the first pitch, catches the second, but again to Firebro, and it will require a fire catch, but it's still close enough that the shortstop is able to get the glove on it. That's 2 outs. Any, what can they do? They want to charge. They want a deep hit. This one will evade Firebro's glove and make it to the outfield. That's good for a single. It's something. You're advancing down the batting order at this point. Although Any is top of the order, actually? Is Any top of the batting order for the revenge? Yeah. So Monty Mole, batter number 2nd, caught out by Shy Guy. One Boone Shy Guy gets on base. One Red Shy Guy catches the 3rd out of the inning. So the revenge will only have 2 chances left to score 2 runs as the Infernos come into this one. And they've done a great job keeping the defense locked down. But can they make it a little bit easier on them with a little bit of a bigger lead? Strawberry seems to think so. Strawberry wants a deep hit. The power block isn't there nearly in time, though. The hit isn't actually even deep enough. It was just a kind of a poor at-bat by Strawberry. Diddy Kong remains on the mound, though, and is still throwing out these wicked curveballs. Red Noki is able to catch it, but isn't able to run fast enough. Boomerang Bro catches them out at first base. That's ground out. Finally, Diddy Kong pulling off the mound at the top of the 8th. And who shows up but Any from behind home plate to take over pitching duties. Dante nails a slow ball up the middle, but not well enough as it just goes straight to Boomerang Bro, turns the out, and we're at the bottom of the 8th. The revenge, this might be the best chance they have, as they have an excellent batting lineup. Diddy Kong into Boomerang Bro into Brown Critter. And Diddy Kong gets on base with a perfectly aimed shot just over Firebro's head. While Luigi is starting to tire, that's a little bit of a worry, but Boomerang Bro has a chance to come up big for the team. It's not a home run, but it is a perfectly aimed line drive. That's a single. That's Diddy Kong to scoring position, and the revenge start out the bottom of the 8th perfectly, as Waluigi is taken off the mound, and Strawberry from right field is brought in to pitch. I will point out the obvious. That means that there's no synergy in right field anymore. Brown Critter with a well-aimed shot with Boo interference. That means that the runner from 2nd gets to go, Diddy Kong, who was on 3rd, gets to go home. That makes it a 3-2 score line. Firebro advances all the way to 3rd. Brown Critter makes it to 2nd off that double. And just like that, 2 runners in scoring position. The Revenge are poised to take the lead in this game if Eggman can capitalize. There's no outs on the board yet, but one slip up and all this potential can go to waste, as we have seen so many times this game. Big fastball from Strawberry caught by Eggman, but Red Noki catches it out. Boomerang Bro almost tries to take it to run home, but it's just too fast of an outfield arm from that Noki. No opportunity to try to make it home. 1 out. 2 runners, still in scoring position. Neru, it's your responsibility. Star hit to take advantage, but Firebro reels it in with a fire catch. It touched the grass, so it's not an out, but it is keeping the runners on 2nd and 3rd. Ollie, who hasn't had offensive success so far this game, it's now on them to tie it or leave these runners stranded on 2nd and 3rd. Charges, contact, it's weak. Firebro throws out Ollie at first base, and despite so many attempts, the Revenge aren't able to tie the game in the bottom of the 8th. They will have 1 opportunity left, and that means that the Infernos have a great opportunity to seal this one. Again, the Revenge are now the only team in the league without a win on the scoreboard. Motivation must be coursing through this team, but Firebro doesn't mind. Firebro gets a good single with that shot to center field. Any needs to pitch for their life against Boo. Not the strongest hitter in the league, but you never know what the Boo can do. Slider is caught. Ground crew dives for it. Will clear the bases by throwing it to first for that double play. That means that there's almost no offensive potential from the Inferno. The only question for the Revenge now is, can they score in the bottom of the ninth? Well, it's not the only question. First, they have to get rid of Red Shy Guy, who is a very good batter in his own right, but that hit goes right to Brown Cuda at shortstop. The Infernos aren't able to do anything at the top of the ninth. As a reminder, I don't think that we've seen an overtime game yet in Grand Slam Galaxy Season 2. And the Revenge, almost at the top of their order. Peridot is batter number 9, and then it's the top of their order with Any. What can she do? Almost gets hit and walked by Strawberry. I swear the flap of the wing was just out of position. Strawberry throwing a lot of balls, trying to bait a weak hit out of Peridot, but smart plate discipline doesn't amount for much though when the slap is just a ground out. Any does make contact, but it will go foul. There's only 2 outs left, separating the Infernos from the clutch win on DK Jungle. And he does catch this next ball, but with the fielding from Tojima at third base, it's now up to Monty Mole. Can Monty Mole get on base and keep the Revenge alive in this game? Or will the Revenge be the only team without a win after 3 playdays? Charges, contact, it's deep, but it might be too deep. There's no synergy out there, but it stays in the field thanks to the fence just curving out. Monty Mole does successfully reach second base. It's up to Captain Diddy to tie this game. 2 outs, runner on second. Star hit from Diddy Kong. Out to left field, stays fair. Monty Mole is running home. Diddy Kong successfully ties the game. Bottom of the ninth, pressure, no problem. 1 well-aimed star hit, 1 Mole touching home. And oh my lord, the only question now is, can the Revenge seal it? Boomwing Bro has already tried but hasn't come up huge so far in the batting. But no, he will ground out, and that means for the first time this season, we will be seeing overtime. The Infernos and the Revenge have both inched themselves onto this scoreboard. Slowly, ever so slowly, but with both teams on their last gasps of energy. Who has the last bit of power to pull themselves through? I said overtime instead of extras, didn't I? Well, that's alright. Waluigi shows why he's not a captain anymore, but Ollie tries to get through the bananas and is denied the catch. That means that Waluigi technically has a chance to safely, yes, reach second base. And off a bad fielding choice, those bananas are known to scare outfielders so much. The Infernos have a chance to strike first blood in extras. Don Quixote watches the first pitch, whiffs on the second. Any, you need to show up, and with a slider, not doing quite that. Don Quixote finds the outfield, just barely sneaking past a Boomerang Bro catch. And with runners on the corners and no outs, Tojima, the starred player, steps up to the plate. Catches that ball, but Boomerang Bro snags it. Waluigi knows to turn around, but Don Quixote is a little bit too gung-ho and gets caught out. That's 2 outs now against the Infernos. So many times this game, a runner has been stranded on third base. Waluigi's trying to steal home. Waluigi's trying to steal home. Beautifully aimed fireball to knock out both the fielders again. And a bunt lets Waluigi reach home and score in extras. Red Noki immediately grounds out. But a bunt might just be what gets the Infernos through this game. unless Brown Critter has anything to say about it. He's facing down a tertiary pitcher, but he lets 2 strikes through quickly. What can he do against Strawberry? He wants a slap, he gets a slap, he gets caught out by Waluigi making the good catch. Pressure's on for the Revenge. They're out of their star player territory, but they just need 1 more run. They managed it in the bottom of the 9th, but with Eggman also being caught out by Red Shy Guy, have they run out of gas? Nehru, you're the last responsibility for this team. 2 outs on the board. Contact. It's high. There are bananas in the cannon, but they make the jumping catch. Captain Dante throws Red Noki up, and the Infernos outlast the Revenge. I think because of the root being there, they knew they had to go for the super jump. I think they would have gone for the super jump in the 9th inning on the other side of the field had they had chemistry. But it's the Infernos in an absolute nail-biter, taking it 4-3 over the Revenge. What a game on DK Jungle. And MVP honors to Strawberry, the tertiary pitcher, the consistent slap hitter, and the Revenge eke out of DK Jungle with a win. You got to assume that Captain Dante is going to be happy after that one. What a storyline coming into this game. What a storyline heading out of it. Again, the Infernos remain one of the other teams in the league, which are always exciting to watch as they just barely hold off Diddy Kong's Revenge Squadron. I feel like I've said Revenge so many times that I've lost all meaning. Regardless, a good effort from Diddy Kong's roster. I need to find ways to say the Revenge but differently because I've said it too many times this game. A good effort from them to try to claw out their first win. Brown Critter doing his absolute best, but not able to get the deep bombs like Blue Critter was on Daisy Cruiser. The rest of the roster also turning up just a little bit short. Not enough small ball success from this team, despite Peridot and Diddy Kong's attempts, and the Infernos will snag that one away from them. The Revenge are an interesting case. They don't even have the most negative RBI run differential. They just need to just cross that last yard and outlast a team. They'll have a chance next Playday, where they will have home field advantage against the Monarchs, but something will have to come up big for these Revenge if they want to actually mark themselves as a top of the scoreboard threat, rather than just a terrifying team to play against. It's good efforts for them so far, and a beautiful game for them on DK Jungle, but the Infernos are the team who managed to hold it together. A lucky game, but good enough. I tend to be good bunches, but never do it. Then the Piantas just kind of do it fun. The best bunches never bunt, the worst bunches do it as a hobby. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, it worked. You got to acknowledge Strawberry's IQ there to bunt in the winning run. Fireball's coming up so huge in 2 big bunts on this Playday, and you can't knock Strawberry for making the right play. That's why Strawberry's on the field, and we're all in a chat box. Tojima doesn't show up huge with the star power. Might maybe leave room to shuffle that around. And Fireball also has a relatively quiet game. But when you've got a star fielder like Red Noki, when you've got a star pitcher like Boo, and when you have the consistency that players like Shy Guy and like Tojima offer you, it's hard to find a valley of skill in this roster. They prove it just well enough, getting them up to a 2-1 scoreline as the Revenge will continue to struggle. 0-3 now after 3 Playdays. Still lots of opportunities for them to have won all 3 of those games, which has got to just make it all the more heartbreaking. But I would be surprised if we saw a postseason with no Revenge appearance. that will lead us to game number 4. And the scariest game is saved for last. After 3 playdays, there are 2 undefeated teams left. The Rotten Eggs, the away team, and the Monsters, the home team in this series. Also, Silver Lily, I know that you're in chat. If you could do me a favor and update the scoreboard for me in the spreadsheet, I would appreciate that a lot. What is left to say about these 2 squads? The Monsters had the dominating preseason. They came out of it 2-0, winning both their preseason games, and they've come out of it just as well in what? I marked down the score wrong in the preseason. Oops. That would explain why that wasn't filled out like I thought it was. I actually put the Monarchs win in the preseason. Still, the Monsters dominating wins in both their preseason games, dominating wins in both their playdays. They had a little bit of trouble last playday against the Monarchs. I suppose I will give the Monarchs some credit on that, but still, at the end of the game, the Monsters turned on the gas and ran away with it. Excellent play from them to just pull away from this game. Now, they face perhaps the biggest challenge yet, if the scoreboard is to be believed, as they're up against the Rotten Eggs. Bowser has the power, Bowser Jr. has the technique, but the Rotten Eggs have Birdo, Mario, and Wario, 3 terrifying captain tier players in one squadron. Mario in particular, with that star power, has done an excellent job holding down the pitcher's mound so far, which raises the question of who exactly is the weak link on this team. When you're looking at Yellow Shy Guy and asking the question, are you the weakest player? You know that you've got a devastating roster on your hands. So it's the absolute peaks that are Bowser, Dark Bones, and Bowser Jr. versus the high watermark that is the Rotten Eggs. Who pulls through and who remains the only undefeated team in Season 2 of Grand Slam Galaxy? The Monsters are given home field advantage, and they have chosen to go to Yoshi Park, a chaotic field where anything can happen. The Rotten Eggs take on the Monsters as we wind down on Playday number 3. Not at all, though, an easy game to wind down on. We've had 3 absolute fiery games so far, whether it was the Flowers dominating on Junior's Playroom, the bloodbath that was the Scrambled Eggs versus the Monarchs, or the defensive showcase that was the Infernos versus the Revenge. I just realized I forgot to make sure that all the rosters were right. Oh no. Well, Yellow Toad is correct as the first batter, so I'm going to be paying close attention. And I can look at okay, everything looks good for the Monsters. So, as Birdo's attempt at a line drive to center field is caught out by Koopa, Magic Koopa, starting off on the pitcher's mound, doing an excellent job. Yellow Toad did manage to sneak one past him, but Yellow Shy Guy will not do the same, as he'll be caught out in center field. And even though a runner got on very quickly, not a lot of success in getting another runner. Wario will be the test of that, as Yellow Toad goes for a steal and is caught out. A lot of speed in that Toad. We don't often see an inning end due to... That can't be right. Goomba, Koopa, Paratroopa, is that right? Goomba, Koopa, Paratroopa. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I think we're all good. Yeah, bold move from Yellow Toad going for that steal. Salamander denied actually throwing Goomba out, just barely stepping on that banana while getting up. means that, again, the first batter gets on. Koopa also gets on for the monsters, and while I was hyping up the Rotten Eggs consistency, a little bit of shell interference lets the monsters get runners on the corners early, and they're in good position to do a lot of damage. Paratroopa rockets one out. It stays barely there, landing on the baseline, meaning just like that, Goomba runs home, and the monsters secure an early lead. What a swelling shot from Paratroopa. I was convinced that was foul, but no. Had just little enough juice to stay inside. Bowser Jr. is an amazingly consistent batter, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was loaded bases or better for the monsters. Loaded bases? Loaded bases. Koopa doesn't throw away an out. No outs so far as Darkbone steps to the plate with Bowser behind him. Mario needs to get the Rotten Eggs out of this jam. That hit will run foul from Darkbones, and it'll have to be a big defensive play if the Rotten Eggs want something safe off of Darkbones' bat. The slider is good contact. It's staying in the field, but bouncing off the wall? No, it is out. Statler does catch it. Koopa does run home, though. And that means that that's 2 on the board for the monsters, and a lot of room for more. Sack Fly from Darkbones does bring in 1 run. And with Captain Bowser facing off against Mario, the chance to bring his son in to score a run. Big hit out to left field, and trained interference makes that an impossible catch. I don't think that was possible anyway. Bowser doesn't even need the star power to get a 3-run homer, and the monsters start off huge. 5 runs in the first inning with not a sweat broken. Mario tired? No, not yet. Magic Koopa signals the end of the worst of the monsters batting, but, well, Magic Koopas are very good batters in their own right, and he does get on base with that single. So it's Owada, batter number 8, who also manages a good single. We are only in the first inning, and the monsters only need to get through Blue Drybones to round their order. Runner on first, runner on second. Blue Drybone slaps it weak. That will allow the double play. It means that all 9 batters saw the box for the monsters, and 5 runs on the scoreboard is a deep deficit for the Rotten Eggs to climb out of. Almost impossible. Interestingly enough, Wario will be back up on bases, and a bobble from Blue Drybones will actually allow Wario to reach first base safely. So Statler comes up against Magic Koopa. He'll watch the first pitch. He's got a runner on, but Wario isn't exactly fast. Any shot to the center field is at risk of being caught. A beautifully aimed shot barely evades Blue Drybone's glove. 2 goofs in 1 inning. Lets 2 runners on and lets Salamander step up to the plate. Salamander wants a big hit here. We know that he's capable of it after his time on the Monster Squad. Smartly watching 2 balls though, and swings on that one. No train interference though means that should be an easy catch from Koopa. Shell interference does actually allow Wario to reach third, so it advances one of the runners. So runners on the corners, 1 out. Thermite now has to try to figure out something for his team. Charges, but watches the second ball swing by. Magic Koopa really testing the patience of these Rotten Eggs batters as a 3rd ball hits. And we're at risk for a rare walk in Grand Slam Galaxy, but no, Thermite doesn't want that. Thermite wants something out of this park. If he wants that though, he'll have to hit a little straighter. Next pitch comes in, line drive runs foul yet again. So we have a loaded count, which is a rare sight indeed. The slow ball from Magic Koopa caught out beautifully by Thermite for a single. Wario, not sure if it was going to get caught, doesn't make a run for it, stays on third, and that means loaded bases with 1 out. The wrong hit in the wrong place can spell disaster, and that's exactly what will happen as Mario's contact falls right in the glove of the King Koopa, and the rotten eggs are denied from a beautiful position at the top of the second and have to face down the start of the monster's batting order again at the bottom. Goomba's charge hit finds the middle, finds first base. That's a single. So Koopa now with a chance to keep the parallels going, but no, hits it right to Salamander at second base. Salamander throws out Goomba. That's 2 outs now. Good fielding from the Lizard on second base. Puts the rotten eggs in a relatively decent spot defensively. With Paratroopa up, any damage will bring the monsters into the most dangerous section of their scoreboard, but no. A little bit more batting consistent with what we expect from the start of the monsters leads to 3 quick outs, but that does mean next inning the monsters' batting lineup will be Bowser Jr., Dark Bones, Bowser. We've seen that line destroy defenses in the past. So, pressure is on the rotten eggs to do as much damage as they can before they have to face that. YP does well enough with a quick single, and Yellow Toad on base hits a slap of his own that's caught out by Bowser, and once again, the King turns a quick double play to shut down the rotten eggs offense. That means that Birdo, batter number 2, nothing on the board. Nothing on the board for her after that hit either. She'll be the 3rd out, and the rotten eggs stay silent through 3. Big test for them here. Can they stop the monster's most dangerous, most consistent offensive lineup? Well, Bowser Jr. doesn't think so. He hits a beautiful single right over the head of the infield. And Dark Bones steps to the plate. Dark Bones has been so beautifully consistent for this team and keeps that up. But Bowser Jr. with a base running error. I think he reaches 3rd here. No! Caught out by Birdo. Compensation as Bowser Jr. makes a horrible base running mistake, and that means that Bowser's hit here will not be driving in Bowser Jr. Dark Bones, will he run for it? No. So that would have been run number 6, but the rotten eggs may be a sigh of relief. They still have to get through Magic Koopa though, who again is capable of great singles to bring in Dark Bones, and just that, of almost exactly the same hit as last inning from Magic Koopa, brings in Dark Bones and brings the monsters up to a 6-run lead, and the Iron Man Mario is fading early, bottom of the 3rd, and he's already nervous about how much farther he can continue. Iwata hits a single, and with no player on second to throw to, I suppose, the bases are loaded with only 1 out. Blue Dry Bones keeps that magic going with another great single. Magic Koopa is the one caught in maybe a bit of a bind here. No, safely reaches 3rd. Run number 7 for the monsters as they're back to the top of their order. And Mario, who has lasted so long in so many games, is taken out early. Suction Ball from Birdo to guarantee 1 strike. She wants out of this inning. She wants Goomba panic. She'll try another Suction Ball. That's a second 4th strike. And a 3rd Suction Ball. That'll get Goomba out. Interesting parallel, actually, between these captains then, considering that both of them can just decide, no, you're out. Next pitch is another strike from Birdo. She's perfect so far with them. But finally, Koopa swings, Mario makes the diving catch, and the rotten eggs get out of this inning. It's Yoshi Park. Anything can happen. 7 runs in the first 3 innings is a tall order for the rotten eggs to bounce back from. Yellow Shy Guy wants it, but the star hit runs foul, meaning that's just wasted power. Next attempt doesn't invest, but does land a good slap. That does mean that Goomba isn't able to get there in time, and that's a single for this offense. Wario now. Doesn't look like he's going to want to charge against Magic Koopa. Looks like he's just going to go for some sort of slap hit. Oh, he's going for a bomb hit. Who let that on the field? The bomb runs foul. So it doesn't mean much. Again, just more wasted star power from the Rotten Eggs. As the second strike is thrown against Wario. Slow bell down the middle. Slap makes contact. Koopa not there in time to catch it. Run on first, run on second after so much wasted star power. And Statler is a weak middle section of this Rotten Eggs lineup. Does manage to find the hole though, and just like that, the Rotten Eggs have a chance to come back in this game. They're not back in this game yet. They have a chance. Salamander has to start driving some of these runners in. But any sort of hit towards that second baseman of Bowser can quickly turn into bad plays. Koopa and Paratroopa just don't jump! Koopa and Paratroopa just don't jump. And it's a grand slam by Salamander to force Magic Koopa off the mound into that second base position. That was not too high. That was so low. I wonder if they were thinking that was going to hit the fence. Regardless, a terrible play by the Monsters defense leads to the Rotten Eggs launching themselves. Can you bunt this pitch, Mario? Maybe he could have, but he wasn't close enough. The shell driven through by Blue Dry Bones, and the attempt by Bowser to go for two. Mario with that extra star power barely touches first base safely. YP swinging for the fences, but it runs foul. And that bunts have been so successful on this Playday. YP hits another good single. Thermite thinks about running home, but decides not to. And yet again, with no outs on the board, the Rotten Eggs have loaded bases. YT up now, trying to face down Bowser. Good slap, well aimed. Bounces off the pipe to interfere with Goombas fielding, meaning that 2 runs are brought in. The Rotten Eggs are back up to a 6-7 scoreline after a completely thrown away grand slam. In the Monsters' defense, given the way that that inning went, I don't actually know what would have stopped the runners from the grand slam from getting home anyway. But I would have to review the plays to see what would have gone differently. YP runs late. That batting error should get them caught out. Yeah, that is the first out of the inning. Is a running error from YP not going at the right time and being caught. Did I set the CPU difficulty wrong or something? I don't think so. Bowser has decided that Yellow Shy Guy is on his hit list. Throws the start pitch for the first strike. Yellow Shy Guy doesn't make good contact with pitch number 2, but that's the second out of the inning. Wario, 2 runners on, charging early. Contact is not nearly good enough. It's a quick round out. And the Monsters maintain their lead, but the Rotten Eggs have fired back on Yoshi Park. Still, it's not like the Monsters have like one of the best 3-run hitters in the league coming up, as after Paratroopa, who quickly grounds out to Mario at that shortstop position, Bowser Jr., Dark Bones, Bowser. Who can keep this trio down? Well, Berta will have to attempt to, though her fastball right down the middle falls into a pipe by Bowser Jr., which allows Yellow Shy Guy to get under it for the catch. 2 outs now against the Monsters. After some insane luck on the Rotten Egg side, the slap by Dark Bones quickly caught out by Yellow Toad in left field. And just like that, the Rotten Eggs are in a beautiful position. They're still losing, but momentum is on their side. Statler now versus Bowser. Excuse me. Start pitch does mean that'll be strike number 2. And does Bowser seal it? No. Fastball on the outside, weak hit from Statler though. That's a quick ground out to Magic Koopa at the second base position. So it'll be up to Salamander now. Charging against Bowser. Deep hit left, just curves foul. Statement made. Statement ignored by Bowser, but the slow hit up the middle is reeled in by Magic Koopa and just barely throws out Salamander in time at first base. That means it's 2 outs now against the Rotten Eggs. Thermite will have to be the one to start this offense. And he won't. Magic Koopa responsible for yet another out. Despite that slow reel in time, it's fast enough to secure everything they need. And the Rotten Eggs aren't able to keep the offense going in the top of the 5th. Bowser has a chance to extend his team's lead, and well, that's a strike number 1. Birdo tries another slow ball up the middle. Bowser makes good contact with it though. I'm pretty sure that's too high. No! Statler and Yellow Shy Guy make it there with a nanosecond to spare and snag out Bowser's home run attempt. What a defensive play. I thought that train was going to hit them for a second. And now it's up to Magic Koopa. Not a lot of luck on this team offensively since Birdo has come up to the mound. She's been doing great so far. Another suction ball to throw off the batter. 2 strikes. Does she go for 3? No. She goes for a slow ball down the middle. Magic Koopa hits it a little bit too high, and the power block is not there in time to interfere with Statler. He makes the catch. 2 outs now. No runners on base, and Iwata just grounds out to end that inning. It's insanity. Through all the games in this Playday, the Rotten Eggs, despite an abysmal start, find themselves back in this game. But if they want to be in the lead in this game, they need something more. Something like Mario getting a little bit too greedy on that hit and getting caught out at second base. Fielding, excellent fielding from Koopa and Goomba. Out in center and left field. The delay on that to not get caught out by the banana, Mario's not ready for it, and his greed is punished. Excellent defensive play by the Monsters outfield. YP now against Bowser. 2 heavy yellow men. Slap from YP does net him a single. Yes. Slow man, you might think he gets caught out, but he's fine this time. And YT wants to try to bring him in. Oh, a deep hit. Train interference. That's a home run from Yellow Toad. And just like that, somehow the Rotten Eggs have a go-ahead 2-run homer from the Toadster to put them up 8-7 in this game. Birdo chooses not to participate as she quickly grounds out. And it's up to Yellow Shy Guy. Does he keep this inning going? No. Magic Koopa reels in that catch, and that means that there's a little bit of an awkward spot for the Rotten Eggs going forward as Wario will lead off their batting next time. But Bowser's got to be mad about that one. And it's the Monsters who now find themselves 1 run down. Of course, they have some of the best team. They have maybe one of, if not the best team in the league to bring that back. Blue Dry Bones, though, simply caught out by Salamander at second base. So now Goomba tries it, but Salamander also catches that one, trying to make it out to right field. Good play by the second baseman to lock down the defense so far. It'll be up to him to stop Koopa, or will it? Well, Birdo says not on the first strike. Second pitch, another fastball inside, flies by Goomba. 2 strikes on the board, 2 outs on the board. Koopa swings, and Mario is the one to field that ball and secure the 3rd out. 3 up, 3 down at the bottom of the 6th. Means the Rotten Eggs, in a awkward but pretty scary section of their offense, still maintain a 1-run lead. Top of the 7th now for Wario. What can he do? Well, he smacks that fastball, and that's a good single. Koopa shell to keep Koopa off his balance. That was your brother. Now runner on first. Bowser still kicking. Still throwing another star pitch against Statler. Will we see Bowser invest the cash? No. He tries a fastball inside. Statler aims it perfectly, though, and manages to get all the way out to center right field. Even the slow Wario manages to reach 3rd base off that. And with Bowser starting to worry, Salamander, who hit a grand slam earlier, is up to bat with 2 runners on the corners and no outs. An early charge, but a super early swing. 2 strikes, and watches the 3rd one. Bowser strikes out Salamander. Rough batting from Salamander, but steal attempts. A weak hit will actually run foul, weirdly enough. Both runners again trying to steal, and Iwata has to choose what to do, allowing Statler to safely reach 2nd. Keeping Wario off home plate leaves the runner advances for free. But Bowser cashes in the check. That's 2 strikeouts on the inning for him off that cannon arm, but he's not feeling it versus Mario. He'll swap with shortstop Bowser Jr., and one of the best relievers in the game is brought in to face down against that meanie Mario. These curveballs really throwing Mario for a loop. 2 balls now. Slow ball down the middle, caught by Mario though. It's good. Paratroopa misses the dash, meaning that not only Wario but Statler both touch home. And that is now a 3-run lead for the Rotten Eggs off a double RBI from Mario and a little bit of fielding misplay. YP here to try to keep the offense going. It's been a very successful inning for the Rotten Eggs, and that'll be where it ends for them. Bowser jumps up. He's been so good in those infield positions, and he'll stop the damage at 2 runs. Still, the Monsters have not been able to get their same offensive success ever since Birdo took the mound, and the captain is looking more and more dangerous. Paratroopa slap, caught up quickly by Mario. Bowser Jr. now. His chance, he'll watch the first pitch. Second pitch coming in from Birdo. Contact means it's deep. The train is there. The Yellow Toad and Statler seem unbothered. Yeah, by an inch it stays in the park. And it's a great double by Bowser Jr., but that 1 extra inch on the fence denies him a home run. Birdo versus Darkbones. Darkbones' hit goes out to left field. It does touch grass. That's good for a single. Runners on the corners. And Bowser can tie this game with 1 shot. That's all he needs to tie this game. Slap, though, not feeling the juice, just feeling the single. Bowser Jr. doesn't run off it either for some reason. Maybe not sure if it was going to be caught out and trying to play it safe. Now it's up to Magic Koopa. Loaded bases, 1 out. Magic Koopa has been so consistent this game. I think Birdo knows it with a suction ball to force out the swing. 2 strikes, and it's another suction ball. Birdo wants nothing from Magic Koopa. That's a rare strikeout on Magic Koopa. That's a 2nd out. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-run deficit. Iwata up. Another suction ball from Birdo. If she chooses to, she could totally empty out the bank here, but no. Slow ball caught by Iwata, lands safely out of range of anyone. Darkbones runs home for some reason, though. Can he successfully reach 3rd? Yes. So it's 1 run, batted in. It's a 2-run deficit for the Monsters, and Birdo is starting to get a little bit tired as she faces down batter number 9 in the lineup, Blue Drybones. Yes, Birdo taken off the mound. That means that the last captain tier pitcher, Wario, will be the reliever. Quite a deep pitching roster for these Rotten Eggs, and they have needed it against the Monsters. Blue Drybones finds gold, though, and that single means that the deficit is now down to 1. The tying run for the Monsters is on third base. All Goomba needs to do is get something here off of Wario's pitching. And Wario might be a captain tier player. He's not a fantastic pitcher, as that slow ball down the middle shows. Goomba almost with a dagger to the heart of the Rotten Eggs fans, but it goes foul. And it'll be a trick ball from Wario. Goomba sees through it, but it goes right to Thermite on first base. The veteran from Season 1 jumps up and catches that one. And we have a 10-9 game heading into inning number 8. Bowser Jr. has to stop this Rotten Eggs offense, which is proven to march on and on. Yellow Toad, though, won't see any love. Top of the inning. First batter, first in the order for the Rotten Eggs, doesn't see much. I'll give Birdo a chance to shine. She hasn't done super well so far this game, but her hit out to center just barely avoids Koopa's glove, and it's a good single. So Yellow's Shy Guy. He'll try to get on base to set up for Wario next, but it's a tough infield to crack with Bowser and Magic Koopa there. Line drive does evade Bowser's grasp. Power block knocks out Goomba. It doesn't allow Birdo to run anywhere, so the power block was actually kind of unnecessary. But still a great aim shot from Yellow Shy Guy. And there's now 2 runners on for Wario. Paintball from Bowser Jr. to try to throw the trickster off his game. Wario sees through it, doesn't see far enough though, as Magic Koopa snags that one. Turns the double play with Bowser. And yeah. The Vizier has got to feel happy about that one, as the Monsters have 2 very good chances to score the 1 run they need to tie this game. Wario needs to shut down the early starts of the Monsters offense, but even if he does that, then you've just got Bowser in the back to worry about. Paratroopa faces down Wario after Koopa knocks away to Mario's club for out number 1. Paratroopa copies him, so that's 2 outs now. Dangerous. The scariest thing you can see if you're a Monsters fan is Bowser Jr. get on base and then Dark Bones fly out. If Bowser comes up next inning and doesn't have runners on base, his damage potential is destroyed. Bowser Jr. is caught out by Salamander. That's an end to the offense for the Monsters this inning, but it's not terrible, as Dark Bones and Bowser are a terrifying duo to start off the bottom of the 9th when we get there. So I would say the pressure is on the Rotten Eggs right now. You need to get at least 1 more run on the board if you want to feel confident about going to extras. The bobble from Bowser is quickly picked up by Magic Koopa. And Salamander, who faced a strikeout and a grand slam this game. Which way does his batting score go? Well, a nice line drive out to center right. A little bit of fireball interference that he doesn't capitalize on. They're just being mean. Gets him a single. Thermite now, facing down Bowser Jr. Swings on it, but it's quickly caught out by Magic Koopa, who lands the double play. And this is the terror position. Dark Bones, Bowser. All Monsters fans need is for Dark Bones to get on base, and then Bowser to score a home run. And then the game is over with no variation. Both these players have been so good. Dark Bones gets on base. This could be it. Bowser hits a home run here, and it's a walk-off. The train is coming out. Wario faces down Bowser. He lets the first one slide on the ball. Second pitch now. Bowser charging. Contact, but it's weak. It goes right to second base. Salamander isn't able to knock out Dark Bones, but is able to throw out Bowser at first base. And it'll have to be small ball if the Monsters want to tie this game. They're 1 run down. The tying run is at second base. Magic Koopa has been so consistent so far. He'll watch the first pitch slide on by. Second pitch now from Wario. Slider caught by Magic Koopa, but that'll run foul. That's good for 2 strikes now. Can Magic Koopa secure this game for the Monsters? No, Mario makes a diving play, throws it to second for the double, and just like that, the Rotten Eggs steal the game from the Monsters off a grand slam that was brought about by inactivity. Yoshi Park favors the Rotten Eggs today, and off that 10-9 victory versus the Monsters, they remain the only undefeated team in Grand Slam Galaxy Season 2. What the hell was this Playday? What? The Monsters, I don't want to say, okay. Congratulations to Yellow Toad for getting MVP honors, in part thanks to that 2-run homer. If you're a Rotten Eggs fan, your only emotion right now is, oh, we take those. Because that was 100% a Monsters game, and then a collapse in the middle of it that the Rotten Eggs take full advantage of, letting them steal it away and maintain a 3-0 record. If you're a Rotten Eggs fan, what you're looking at and what you're looking for from this team, consistency. Excellent slap hitters throughout this lineup at worst means that this team is able to consistently put numbers on the board. And with Mario, Birdo, and Wario, you've got a relatively deep pitching lineup. That consistency seems to be the winning trick for this team, as they are the only team to remain undefeated through 3 Playdays. Meanwhile, for the Monsters, a valiant effort, a very valiant effort, unfortunately, shut down by a mysterious play in the outfield. Just a little bit more defensive gas, and the Monsters have this one sealed up, but letting the Rotten Eggs have that chance, letting the Rotten Eggs score that run, means that it's the Rotten Eggs who sneak away with the victory out of what might have been the greatest Playday of all time. That was 3 games ending with a 1-run differential difference. We had the first game, which was the Flowers blowing out the Wilds, 18-6, but then Scrambled Eggs Monarchs, 9-10 game. Infernos versus Revenge, 4-3 game. Rotten Eggs versus the Monsters, 10-9 game. Closer and closer and closer. You could not ask for, you should not ask for, do not ask for this again. My poor heart could not take it. We're just going to verify real quick that everything is all good on the scoreboard, and it's looking like we're all set. So, while I pull up and ready the standings, let's take away the storylines here. We're still early in the season. By all means, there's still a lot of time for the standings to shake out, and a lot of time for players to find themselves rosters, to find themselves managing staff, to find themselves what they need for postseason success. There's still plenty of time for all of that. But for some of these teams, a weak start is a worrying start. And you gotta wonder, as much time as you have, the season isn't infinite. There's 14 Playdays, and the pressure truly begins for these teams to find themselves back into strong positions strong fundamentals and a strong position on the standings board. We are ready now to show you our current standings heading out of Playday number 3. Ba-ba-da. Here we are. So, your standings after Playday number 3. The Rotten Eggs are the only undefeated team after clinching a close, insane game versus the Monsters. The Monsters are still safely in second with an incredible run differential for only 3 games in, including 1 loss. It's an insane run differential, so you should expect to see them maintain their spot at the top of the scoreboard. The Flowers, off 1 great win versus the Wild, to launch themselves up to 3rd place, going from a -11 run differential all the way up to a solid +1. So they're going to be happy about that one. The Infernos, 2-1 record, -5 run differential, but that's off 1 bad loss and 2 extremely well-earned close wins. Well-played games from the Infernos all around. The Scrambled Eggs also sort of that mirror team. I look forward to a strong Scrambled Eggs Infernos rivalry, as they have just had the worst luck of it. 1-2 scoreline, but with only a -1 run differentials, because every single game they've had in the regular season has been decided by 1 run. So, team to watch moving forward. The Wilds, with some woes today, dropped down the scoreboard down to a 1-2 record, -8 run differential, but you can expect any team with Donkey Kong and Hammerboat to find the problem, solve it, and bounce back quickly. I expect them to also glide back up the scoreboard. The Monarchs steal a game today to get their first win of the season, but there's still questions for this team. Was that a sign of things to come, or was it, like I labeled it, a bit of a steal? If the Monarchs want to show up in the playoffs, now is the time to look at your roster, to look at your players, and say, what changes can I make, if any, to this roster to make it better? Or do I have the faith in my players, do I have the faith in my positions to drive through this season? A storied roster that we'll have to keep an eye on to see how they play this one out. And at the bottom of our scoreboard, the surprise of the regular season, the Revenge, after a 2-0 preseason record, have failed to find Pater. But notice, that's because they have a -4 run differential. Lost 1 game by 1, lost 1 game by 2, lost 1 game by 1. The Revenge have been competitive against 3 very good teams in the Scrambled Eggs, the Flowers, and this week against the Infernos. So, who can they capitalize on? How do they capitalize going forward? And how does this team start climbing that scoreboard and really kicking off the Revenge Tour? We'll find out come Tuesday, our next Playday in Grand Slam Galaxy, where we will have the Monarchs versus the Revenge. That is, of course, 7 and 8 playing against each other. Bottom 2 teams in the league playing against each other. Infernos versus the Flowers. So those middle upper teams playing against each other, seeing who can secure a top of the leaderboard status. The Scrambled Eggs versus the Rotten Eggs. 2 very consistent teams playing against each other. As a reminder, they played in the preseason, and the Scrambled Eggs won that by a margin of 1. So that should be an absolute banger no matter what stadium we end up in. And finally, the Wilds versus the Monsters. 2 batting titans will come up against each other and see which one carries momentum forward. I would like to thank all of you for joining me here in Grand Slam Galaxy. You have been wonderful. We head off into the evening. We head off into the lands between to raid Saren, currently playing Elden Ring. I will see you all come Tuesday. I will have to see how Silver Lily's throat feels. Silver Lily, I once again hope you a very quick recovery. Thank you all for joining me for this absolute banger of a Playday. And I will see you come Tuesday. Until next time, play ball.
and have a lovely Saturday, everybody. Good night.